or maybe a couple people will trickle in. Um, all right, we are ready.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Jackie Schildkraut from the Department of Criminal Justice, and I was invited here by my also criminal justice colleague, Dr. Maggie Schmull. Thank you for the invite. And I'm going to be talking today about liquid syllabi or liquid syllabus. I'll probably obviously use those interchangeably. And to kind of give you just a little bit of background about how I stumbled into this, before the pandemic, we had our 200-person intro to criminal justice class, and I was really kind of sick and tired of killing trees every semester to print syllabi for it. So I was trying to figure out like what was a really good alternative to, you know, a 7 or 8 plus page syllabus that then I have to print 200 copies and then bring them in. And then everyone's like, I lost my syllabus. So at that point, I had gone down to like a 1-pager. So just kind of hitting the highlights on a short form and then uploading my full syllabus. And I think one of the benefits, if there was any benefits of this pandemic, was that it really sort of pushed us all online, and found myself on academic Twitter a lot, meeting a lot of new people who were using a lot of really cool pedagogical techniques. And someone else was using liquid syllabi, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I don't have to use any paper anymore. So I tried it out as a whim, and it really worked, and it was super easy. And then I found out it was even easier to just keep updating it. So that's kind of been the impetus of it. I believe I've been using it pretty much since the start of the pandemic. I think that fall of 2020 was the first time I used it. And so what I will do is kind of go, I guess, a little bit through. I've done some research on kind of why this approach came out, walk you guys through one of my syllabi and just how I've set it up, and show you sort of some of the back end stuff. I use Google Sites, which is really super easy. And because we have it as part of our Google suite, it was something nice that it's kind of archiving everything for me in our Oswego turf, for lack of a better word, and then just offer some considerations. I apologize. One thing I wanted to do was put together a list of resources. If you guys know me, it's been a very crazy 48 hours with Texas. So if it's okay, Maggie and John, maybe I could put that together and we could share it some way in the next couple of days, just to make sure that you guys have that information. So when I started to read up on it, on these liquid syllabi, what I found, it was really about creating a more inclusive space and a more welcoming approach to the semester. I think we've all seen syllabi, and no matter how creative we try to get, there's only so much sort of visual engagement you can give when you have to give so much information. And so when with the liquid syllabi, it was designed to sort of augment that in a more engaging and friendly sort of way. So some of the components that people like to involve or include in their liquid syllabi is like a welcoming video. And so you can very easily embed a video right in this website, if you will, versus having to, you know, put a link and send somebody else somewhere else, assuming that you've even, you know, been able to do that, or we thought to include it. I know I had never really thought to do that when I was sending out just a normal syllabus. And so since we're already required to, or I guess strongly encouraged to send our syllabi out about a week in advance, this actually is something that allows students to see and put a face to us, kind of hear our voices, start to pick up on our mannerisms, and be more welcomed into the course versus us. You know, there's a very big difference in hearing somebody say welcome and reading an email that says welcome to the course. So when I first did this, one of the things I will say that I found was a challenge is like students were like, well, where's the syllabus? And I'm like, no, this is the syllabus, look. And, you know, so for some of my, I think more tech savvy, you know, millennial students in our whatever generation we're on now, they were like, this is cool, we can open it up on our phone. And then some of the students who maybe weren't as technologically savvy or non-traditional students, they're like, I don't understand what to do. And so there was a little bit of a learning curve in trying to explain basically like, look, instead of flipping a page, you just click a link. So it's a really cool way to kind of organize your content in the same way, but instead of using your headings and subheadings, you're organizing it by links. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick. And I assume you guys can see this. So this is my syllabus from fall 2020, which is the first time I did it, which is from our research methods class. And so as you can see right off the bat, it's very engaging. It's very visual. And everything that you'll need to know is organized right here over on the side in the menu bar. So if I can sort of explain or expand out on the assignments, we have our campus policies and resources, and I'll kind of go through some of these in a few minutes. But of course, in addition to sort of getting that overview of what the class is about and that sort of generalized welcome, I also have a video that goes into what they can expect over the summer. So now, or over the semester. So now they can, in a minute and 15 seconds, they can get to know a little bit about me, and also sort of, again, start to see my excitement and my passion for the course. Sorry, my dog is going nuts. Sorry. They can start to kind of get a little bit more excited as any one student can get about research methods, about the course. And then again, there's sort of these quick links. It allows you to be more visual and engaging. I will say that I use the same template for every single class. I'll change up the colors, and then the course description button, I will also change. The visual, it's not really a button, but I'll change the graphic to be something that's more representative of our class. But the rest of these I keep the same. And that's also allowed for students who have multiple classes with me to see that continuity between the classes so that they know exactly what to expect. What's really great about this as well is the fact that this has a lot of built-in inherent accessibility. So we know that obviously Google has made a lot of strides to ensure that their sites and everything that's produced within the Google suite is accessible for 504 compliance and stuff. And so when you are using a screen reader, if you all of the images have alt image descriptions and things. Sorry, Chloe, stop. All of those, all of that inherent information that I think a lot of times when we're putting together our courses and they're going through that review and extended learning, that they're looking for us to have those things like in Blackboard. So we can already do it really easily in here. You're going to see a lot, again, of the same information. So our course descriptions and learning objectives, and also it allows you to kind of more seamlessly integrate ways that you're going to navigate through the course. And so one thing that I always, try to say, and keep, restating for redundancy and continuity is, this is going to act as part of sort of our suite of products that we'll be using to be successful in the course. And again, you can see here over the side, we're just providing more visual ways to say the same thing. I'm personally a very visual learner. I'd rather see 4 bullet points than have to read all of this. But depending on what your preference is, it allows you to kind of flush it out that way. And then, again, showing how our Blackboard course works, how the course is laid out, et cetera. So even if we haven't gotten a chance, let's say, to finish setting up our Blackboard courses, I know I'm one of those 11th hour people still trying to figure it all out at the last minute. We can still set up even some structure and show them what to expect once they get in there. And you can see here, we're also creating reciprocal links throughout our syllabus that they can very easily just jump back and forth between different areas if they need more information at any given point. One of the things that I really like as well is that when you start to do things like assignments, you can break it out again in a more visual way. We could certainly include this in a syllabus, but it's something that seems to me at least to fit better in a web-based forum. This is the type of information and the type of layout that I would expect to see in this kind of a space. And then to kind of what's really great about it as well is we can also house all of the important information for students with direct access to those links. So one of the things that I was really conscientious of, and I think a lot of people across campus were, especially in fall of 2020, is what are the different resources students may need beyond our class, beyond traditional academic services like the Writing Center or tech support, counseling services, our student food pantry, emergency fund for COVID. And so we were able to effectively link right out to other resources that then open in a new window. So we're not taking students away from the syllabus, but we're getting them access to these other sources all in one place. So they're not having to go figure out where they are or try and like search the entire website. They don't need to know the keywords or anything like that. So this is the back end of that syllabus. Again, you can start in Google Sites. I will say once I came up with sort of a layout and a template that I really liked, I just literally will make a syllabus copy and I'll update it for the next class. And then if I'm doing the same class in a different semester, I'll make a new copy, title it whatever the semester is, and I'm able to keep building this sort of collective, if you will, of these digital syllabi that allow me to make very easily, seamlessly make changes, but also allow me to archive them for record purposes, which I will say our administrative assistant at this point, I think, is very happy with me because I'm no longer sending her all of these different files. I'm like, here's an email, here's my 3 classes, here's the links for them. And it's all archived there for the purposes of the reporting that we have to do. So the way that this is set up is that you basically work in sort of blocks or content blocks or sections. And you can see here that there's a bunch of different layouts. So I'll just kind of add one here so you guys can see it. So if we were to choose this one here, you would be able to just simply click and choose either an image that's already on your Google Drive or to upload one from your computer. You can also, of course, tie in YouTube videos. And then you can edit your text. You can make that text collapsible. So it's already integrating the formatting for having headers and also content text. And then so, let's see, if we were to do something like this, then we can very easily link right out to a site or to another page in the navigation within our existing syllabus. Once we've set up our structure, we can change our text colors. We can do all of these different things. And then you can build different pages. You can use different functionality. So placeholders, you can do sort of image grids. You can actually embed Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Slides. So if you're wanting to share slides that you're going to be using in class, you can very easily connect those right in here from your Google Drive. And again, you can also very easily integrate your contact information, links to Blackboard, etc. Some things to consider as you're doing this, in light of sort of the push for accessibility and wanting to make sure that my course was accessible as possible. I did some additional research with regards to color schemes. One thing that's really important is understanding that there are certain colors that are better for online than for others, and also the need for contrast between those colors. So one of those resources that I will provide, the Carnegie website has a great sort of guide of if you're using this color background, you use this color font, or these are your font color options. Or if you want, like you can see here, I love blue. So this was a 504 compliant blue color that can be seen by people with visual disabilities, but it also has the appropriate contrast between the background and the color. So that's something really important to consider. Like we want to stay away from reds and greens. And so having that information has been incredibly helpful. You can use other platforms. Wix, I know, is something I've seen other folks use. It's a free website builder. I've found for the purpose of this, and I have a very detailed website of my own, but for the purpose of something like this was really already very well built together and worked. And I wasn't having to reinvent the wheel. I just simply had to kind of work within what I was already doing. So that's kind of, I know I went a little bit fast, but I also figured there might be some questions. So I wanted to kind of leave a couple minutes if you guys had any questions or any thoughts that you might like to share about this. I'd love to chat with you about it. And thank you for listening to my spiel on liquid syllabi.
That was great, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you.
How long did it take you? Like, did you know Google Sites and how to build that before you started? And okay, so you like started from scratch and just, it was a pretty easy learning curve.
Oh, absolutely. So I will say, in fairness, I did have a bit of a website background. I've done stuff through like WordPress and stuff like that, but from Google Sites, I was starting from scratch. And like when I build my own websites, I'm very much like an agonizer. I think anybody who knows me knows I'm an agonizer about the really smallest things. And so for me, it's always about picking themes and layouts. And so that's really where I found I was spending the most time. Once I just made up my mind and committed and I went for it, it was really about kind of what content do I want to include and how do I want to include it. And so even if you're building out, like if you draft kind of an outline of what you want to include in each page and sort of bullet point it out for yourself, then you can start to think about what's the most effective way to lay this out. So you like on some pages, I have sort of blocked out sections like with the assignments, the grades, etc. But on the individual assignments, it's all very continuous with videos embedded to sort of break up the text. So like one of the assignments I do is they do blogs, and it's very detailed in here's how you set up your entire blog from start to finish, but here's all of these different resources, and you can break up the text with videos to do that as well, sort of give that reprieve. There was a comment I just want to make sure I answer. Karen said, I've been thinking about making my course into a website, but I've been hesitant to do so. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, it's super easy. I will, like I said, the only real pushback I've gotten was from a non-traditional student who's like, I don't understand what this is. And I was like, it's the same thing. Just click a link. Don't flip a page. And after she kind of got a little comfortable with it, she was like, oh, okay. And then we had multiple classes together. I also, in my Blackboard, or I guess once we go to D2L, I literally link right to the syllabus, but I then create a secondary link right to the schedule page. So I'm saving them from having to go flip through this or click through the syllabus to get to the schedule. I just link directly to that page as well. Judy.
I have a very hands-on course that I teach, and I was going to try to mix and match, because what I do, I run the costume shop for the theater department. Cool. For those who don't know. Yeah, best kept secret on campus. And sorry, I call everyone kids because I'm old. The students that come in, of course, they range a whole different levels of learners, but they walk into a situation 99% of the time, this is totally foreign to them. I'm teaching sewing. So for my tech savvy kids, I want to do more of a liquid syllabus. And I don't have as many non-traditionals, but because it's face-to-face, I want to do introduction videos, be like starting a month out before the semester starts. And I find that a lot of my students also have those hidden disabilities. And how easy was it to navigate the making the accessibility for the website and for building the liquid syllabus? Because I am not as tech savvy as I'd like to think I am. And I really work very hard utilizing the accessibility features. So what are the pitfalls? And where, I mean, besides going to all the breakout sessions on accessibility, how easy is the Google Sites to
Oh.
manipulate?
Super easy. So like I said, the two main things are, there's already a lot of inherent accessibility built in. So from the purpose of designing the site, the two main things are making sure your colors are accessible, which, as I said, I'll send you guys that link. And then also making sure that your pictures or your images have alternative text. So I'm just going to jump back on my screen share real quick. So when you are on here, like, so take this picture, if you just, once you upload your picture, you go to more editing options, you click add alt text, and you can literally then put in a description. Or if it's, in this case, it's just a decorative image, you just click, this is a decorative image, apply, and it builds it right in for you. So all of the back end coding to make it accessible, Google just took care of all of that for you.
Okay, so it's the standard, what I've been learning. It's
Mhm.
nothing new that Google is doing.
Correct, yeah. Just making sure you've got that alt text.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I dropped in the chat a link to a short course on creating a liquid syllabus by the person who developed it. So if you're not that comfortable with doing it, you can sign up for the free course, work through it. It's really short. It doesn't take more than a few hours, and it gives you a lot of information on how to do it.
Thank you guys so much for coming to my session. That was really fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Jackie.
Bye.
Can I ask a quick question real
Oh,
quick?
yeah.
So the first day of class, do you go over this again or you just jump straight into the material?
No, I actually go over it again. And one thing,
Okay.
because I've learned that my students are much more attached to their phones than I ever anticipated. So I've literally put up a QR code that they can scan on their phone, and it'll pull their syllabus right up on their phone.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
should also say, one of the great things about doing the liquid syllabus is Google has already built in all of the responsiveness. So it will automatically adapt in terms of size and layout for phones, iPads, or other tablets, and then also computers. And so then we'll go through the syllabus. I will have sort of a traditional PowerPoint that breaks down or kind of pulls the high points out of each page, but they can click through as we're doing that.
Cool. Thank you.
Great question. I forgot that part. Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks, guys.